31 of 64. Captain McDonald came from a military family. His father was career Army, but Kurt loved planes, so switched services. Captain McDonald went missing while piloting an OE-1 Bird Dog. For those of you that don't know what an OE-1 Bird Dog is, it's a very small two-passenger plane, similar in appearance to a Piper Cub, and it's used primarily as a spotter plane for reconnaissance and directing artillery fire. Many other members of the McDonald family have also served, including our next speaker, Michael Franzen in the United States Marine Corps. Karen Rayburn, who is Captain McDonald's sister, and Michael Franzen, who is the son-in-law of Karen Rayburn, will now be speaking to him. And Michael is will serve as the family spokesman for the McDonald family.
Kurt was born on August 19th, 1934, in Salt Lake City, Utah. He was the first of 4 children, and since his dad was career Army, attended several schools while growing up. He received his Air Force commission following graduation from the University of Puget Sound in Tacoma, Washington. Prior to his tour of duty in Vietnam, he was stationed at bases in Texas, North Carolina, Spain, and Japan. In September of 1964, he was assigned to Da Nang Air Base in Vietnam. There he served as Tactical Air Advisor to the Vietnamese Army and to the 4th Regiment of the 2nd Infantry Division. Though he had more commonly flown F-100s in his career, he also flew the O-1E Bird Dog, a reconnaissance airplane. One of his accomplishments included an appointment to try out for the Thunderbirds when he returned from Vietnam. On the last day of the year, 3 weeks prior to the time Kurt was due to rotate out of Vietnam, he embarked on a mission from which he did not return. A case summary is as follows. On December 31st, 1964, Captain Kurt C. McDonald, pilot, and Specialist First Class Edward R. Dodge, observer and the 5th Special Forces member, comprised the crew of the Bird Dog. On an administrative flight to drop off Specialist Dodge with a secondary mission of visual reconnaissance, they were on a round-robin flight, wherein they were to depart Da Nang Air Base, fly to the A Shao Special Forces camp to deliver documents and equipment, then return to Da Nang. When it was determined that the Bird Dog was overdue in returning to Da Nang, search and rescue operations were initiated and concentrated along the route of the flight. These efforts yielded no trace of the aircraft or crew after hundreds of flights were done. The terrain in this area consists of rugged mountains with a heavy jungle canopy that extends to an average of 200 feet above the ground. A later analysis of the loss incident led to the conclusion that it was probable they were downed by enemy ground fire. Further, given to the circumstances of loss and the type of aircraft involved, the survival of the air crew was actually quite likely. Both Kurt McDonald and Edward Dodge were listed MIA. In August 1982, approximately 18 years later, Kurt's status was changed to KIA BNR. BNR stands for Body Not Recovered. 10 years after that, in 1992, a Joint Activities Investigation team visited an area that several witnesses had indicated might contain the crash site. Among their findings were portions of a small aircraft consistent with the missing Bird Dog. At this time, I just want to conclude with a poem that I found by C.W. Johnson on Memorial Day. You've probably heard this one. We walked among the crosses where our fallen soldiers lay, and listened to the bugle as taps began to play. The chaplain led a prayer, we stood with heads bowed low, and I thought of fallen comrades I had known so long ago. They came from every city across this fertile land, that we might live in freedom. They lie here beneath the sand. I felt a little guilty, my sacrifice was small. I only lost a little time, but these men lost their all. Now the services are over for this Memorial Day. To the names upon these crosses, I just want to say, thanks for what you've given. No one could ask for more. May you rest with God in heaven from now through evermore. Thank you.
Okay. Karen gets very emotional when she talks about her brothers. She's opting out, and I don't blame her. All right, thank you. Thank you very much. All right.